Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another We Be Talking podcast, episode 3. I'm Justin.
What is up? I'm Logan.
And yeah, so what we talk about is anything anime, video games related. And that's where our focus is, along with any other stuff. Yeah, man, I'll figure out these intros eventually, okay? But for now, I'll keep it awkward. So yeah, as always, if you guys ever want to leave feedback or anything like that, you can just contact us at couchtalkyt@gmail.com. You can DM us, tweet us, anything like that over on Twitter at couchtalkyt, and just leave it at the comments here. Comments, not comics. We ain't a comic. Comments here at YouTube. Anyway, we're just gonna go ahead and jump into this.
Let's do it.
So for anime news, I want to go ahead and give a correction for last week, since last week we talked about how One Punch Man would be in 2020. We got rused.
We got straight up baited.
We were lied to by all the sources of Reddit, the main big source. So yeah, actually, they ended up releasing a huge announcement with the trailer that is coming in April. So thankfully, we don't have to wait two plus years.
It was just an announcement trailer too, because I watched it. It was nothing
really new in it.
Yeah, nothing really I mean, it being in 2019 and not 2020 is good news, but the trailer itself was just, all right.
Yeah, it was just a very basic announcement trailer.
Yeah.
So one of the other things is there was an original anime announced by called Hoshiai No Sora, which is like a double tennis team that's going to be in 2019. But it's from the people at Escaflowne, which Escaflowne is my 4th favorite anime of all time. So another tidbit about me.
Sports anime are usually always good.
Well, yeah, it's weird because I don't know exactly which person from Escaflowne is working on it. I don't know if it's a director, producer, or main writer or something, but that was a mech anime to an extent. It wasn't like a hardcore like mecha anime, but to go from mecha to doubles tennis is quite a change.
Yeah, I'm sure they can handle it.
Oh yeah, I guarantee it. So I am excited for that. And of course, we got the big earnings report. So anime for 2017 showed a record high income of about 1.8 billion. That was a total income rise of 39.6% year on year, continuing a 3-year positive trend. The actual profit saw a 4.9% increase. That's showing anime is becoming more and more mainstream.
Right. It's obviously becoming more popular. I'm sure as people have noticed. People don't judge you if you tell them you like anime.
You might not get bullied in school anymore.
But that's good. If it's making more money, that usually leads to, higher quality things or more things. So, I mean, if it's doing well, the audience is going to also do well,
Yeah, exactly. So, when people... Yeah, it's getting close to being mainstream, right? I don't know what classifies mainstream, but if it ever hits like primetime television at like 8 p.m. on like Fox or something like that, that's how right. You know it's truly mainstream.
It's kind of there. It is a whole medium. Like, it's not just like, that's why it's weird when people are like, anime is weird. I'm like, that's like me saying TV shows are weird. It's just a whole medium in general. Are there weird anime? Yes.
Just like
but there's also weird movies and weird TV shows. I don't judge the entirety of the medium off just the weird shit.
Yeah. So that is good. As anime reviewers, that's obviously a good sign. If it was the other way, that would not be a good sign at all. We'd be looking for something else to review. But with anime going, we can still keep on reviewing, seeing the positives. But again, anime isn't too news heavy of a thing. Like, I mean, there's a
Anime
lot
comes
of
in
little things, right? But it's just
right.
little
It comes in
things.
spurts. Usually, like a bunch of big things will happen all at once, and then it'll just be light stuff for a while.
The big thing was just One Punch Man. Other than that,
Right.
um, so we're just gonna go ahead into our topic for anime already. So, hold on. There, the topic is live adaptations. So, what I mean?
Oh boy.
So yeah, there's a lot we can go here about live adaptations. Let's just start with the big one. Are they necessary?
Are they
Or
necessary?
needed?
Are they needed?
Or are they even wanted?
Well, I'm not. We're not spokesmen from the anime community, but are they needed? For me, like personal opinion, no. Are they wanted? No. It's well, okay. Here's the thing. When the whole like attraction to anime in general is just like how crazy things are, like how wild, how exaggerated. Because anime is really good at like exaggerating stuff. Either it be like exaggerating action, exaggerating emotions. So it doesn't really translate well to like live adaptations. Like certain animes can, but like for example, if you want to watch like if they tried to make a Naruto live adaptation, it would be a disaster. Just take a look at the Dragon Ball Z movie or the Avatar The Last Airbender. Those are ridiculed. They're pretty much the laughing stock of the live adaptations.
So yeah, like this we can apply to video games as well. This is like a topic that encompasses everything, just live adaptations. But like, because one thing that people always talk about with games is like, oh, well, they keep getting announced that we're going to do a live adaptation. Live adaptation is like, why do we need them, right? Like, we can already experience them in a game. Same with anime. You've already really experienced it to its true, medium. And I do think, in a way, they're needed. Do I want them? No, not really. No, just that's a no as well. Needed in a way to like. I don't know if they're necessarily needed, but they are. I think the best way to get non-anime viewers connected to the story, right? Because some people just can't get
I can
into
see
anime.
that.
So like,
I can also see, but I was just quickly. I can also see how like they could be more acceptable for games, in my opinion, just because everyone plays a game and has a whole different experience and different story. I guess if you want to make it like more, this is the actual story, if that makes sense. But even still,
but yeah, it's another thing of like you're truncating what like many hours into 3 hours. Like if you got a 100-hour game, I feel like TV shows are the better way to go for live adaptations, where you can actually have a full series and have an hour-long episode per episode and actually be able to tell the story besides movies, which I do think live adaptations for anime and games would actually do better in that medium than movies. We mostly keep getting movies, and I feel like there's also a lot of them are done not in the right way. Some of them, people are, the problem is you have the anime viewers, right? And when you're making a movie, it's like, do I want to make the live adaptation for the anime viewers who have already experienced it? Which, of course, then you're stuck with, oh, now I have to make it a true adaptation to the anime viewers. Otherwise, they're going to be upset. Which they're going to be upset at everything, no matter what, because that's just how people are. Like, for example, the Full Metal Alchemist movie, live adaptation, was as true as it can be.
I think,
and that became boring because it was exactly what I saw already. And then they had to cut out all the parts. So when they got to like the emotional scene where that one guy turns his daughter into a chimera or whatever, it's just not emotional because there was no build-up time. And one of the guys that died, that was Al's like friend or whatever, like no emotional there. They did a flashback for him of the 2 scenes he was in. He was in 2 whole scenes. They killed him, and then they flashed back to his 2 whole scenes that were 5 minutes long. And it's
I think that's more of a like a movie issue. Like if you're, it's very strange they try and adapt a series into a movie. Like it's just
Well, it was already supposed. It's like not one movie. It was gonna be like 3 movies or
yeah,
something
but
like
still,
that.
why not just do a show? You know, just do a season of a show. It doesn't have to be a movie. Like it's just because, in my opinion, if you're gonna make an adaptation ish, like I feel like it's very acceptable to ridicule if you change the story because you're obviously trying to profit off of its already built-in audience. Like the Death Note movie, it changed the story. It's obviously using the Death Note name because they know it will be watched by people who know of Death Note. So if you're gonna do it that way, you're gonna have super high expectations. So if it's not up to their expectations, then yeah, it's
Yeah, actually, I feel like I don't know how Death Note was like received to non-anime viewers, right? Uh, I do feel like they were actually on track to doing it right by not having a true adaptation, but doing like taking the premise of it and making their own story. But the problem was if you do that, which they did, you can't use the same characters. Like because you're gonna pull in the anime viewers only because you're using that name, but you also know because it's live you're gonna pull in a whole bunch of people who don't watch anime. And if you're gonna not do a true adaptation like that, you can't just change the characters to how you kind of want them to, because that was not the Light we know. That was not the Ryuk we knew. Ryuk was a lot more, a little more kind of offhanded. He was like more playful, not he was
not like a
he was super villainous and like evil in like the movie, and he wasn't quite like that in the show. L was just not quite right at all. Like I do kind of like the twist at the end of the movie where like L ends up with the Death Note. Like I feel like all that's fine if it wasn't a high school drama. Ignoring that like just the movie being flat out bad, I think the way they went about it doing their own story would have been is probably like the better way to do it to get a new audience in that says, oh hey, this is kind of interesting, what's like the original like or whatever. But
right.
you can't do it with the original characters that all your original viewers know and love.
Right. I mean, yeah. Like I said, if you're gonna take the whole concept, just be prepared for high expectations. That's just how it is. It's like if you're gonna take this anime people love and then make it pretty trash, they're gonna get mad. It's like now when people like if someone who hasn't seen anime has seen the movie, and it's like I ain't gonna tell them I like Death Note. That movie was trash.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the biggest problem is just movies. Why are there movies? I mean, I'm no production expert or know all the inner workings of why make a movie versus a TV series. But if you're going to try and translate a TV series into, why not just make it into a live TV series? Doesn't that make the most sense?
I would say so because
Just do like a short season one. And if it's good, make more. If it's not, kill it.
yeah, because I don't know
I feel like movies
logistically
would
like
be.
cost wise, so I feel like which one's
I,
more
I honestly
expensive.
don't know. I feel
So
like movies are expensive too.
yeah,
So like it's not like one's cheap and one's not. They're both probably expensive. I just don't know the difference.
yeah, but because we keep getting like people seem to be fascinated with live adaptations, right? Like for games, I can kind of more understand it because people don't have the time to sink 100+ hours into a game. There's a show you're only spending 30 minutes to an hour each week. You spend 30 minutes to an hour each week with a game, you're going to forget the story by the time you're 5 hours in, because that's 5 weeks, and it's like, oh, what did I do first week, right?
Right.
So it doesn't work quite as well. But that's why I think TV shows would work with games. The only reason, yeah, live adaptations work there because you got people who don't play the games who would actually have a chance to see the story. But again, you're always in that. It has to be a TV show. Movies just don't work, as proven by all the movies we've gotten for both
Pretty
anime
much every
and
movie.
like
No
even if
one
I
has
were to
been
take like the best of each, they still come out as like an average decent film.
That's
right?
what I was about to say. No one has been like, wow, that was a good adaptation. At the best, they're like, I guess that was okay. That's what they'll say. Like, I guess it was all right. Nothing of like, wow, that blew me away.
Yeah, like I came out and I said I enjoyed the WoW movie, right? I mean, I don't play WoW. I know nothing about WoW, so that might have had a different. It was basically a non-gamer coming into it, right? But somebody who played WoW, I don't know how they came out feeling about the movie. Um, but I feel like that's probably like one of the more better ones, right? I haven't seen the newest Tomb Raider movie, so obviously that's a thing. Um, but even still, that was only received okay.
Yeah.
You
I
just
just
you just can't get a full story truncated down to an hour and a half.
right. I just don't see the need for live adaptations. I feel like the anime industry is doing a pretty good job of penetrating the normal market, if you want to call it that. That makes me sound like some elitist. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like the more mainstream market,
Yeah, yeah,
do a better job at like presenting it and stuff. I can see how live adaptations could work, but I don't feel they're necessary.
yeah. I mean, I would agree, but yeah, it just depends which anime are being approached to the normal market, right? Because some would not work. I think majority would not work actually. Like think about like the people I do know. Um, basically, we're talking about like I guess the older people at this point, like and
They're not important.
like
It's hard to get old people to like anything new.
well by old I mean like 30s, not like 60s and 50s, uh, younger 40s and stuff. But
True. But I don't think that's who they're targeting. I think they're probably targeting newer like, younger people so that they have them for a long time.
yeah, but I also feel like anime itself is good enough for younger people. The live adaptations now that I think about it, like I mean the only point of a live adaptation is try to reach those non-anime viewers, I guess. That's it. They're already not going to watch an anime, but they might watch that story in a live adaptation. That's it. But when they market it, it always feels like they're marketing it towards the anime viewers who don't want it.
I know that is the weird thing. That's what it confuses me. It's like, what's this for? Is it for me? Because I've already seen the story and I don't care for a live adaptation at all. Even if it was good, it's like, okay.
Yeah, like I
Just
got it, right? I'm the same way when it comes like just manga to anime, right? If I've read it, I got the story. I don't really care to watch the adaptation. And then even more doubly so for anime to live action, because I know it's not going to be good.
yeah, I don't.
And half the time it's like really like amateur actors. It's like their first gig because that's all they could hire because they were looking for something cheap.
It's like those actors in all those weird movies where it's like, the Shark Tsunami 7 starring whoever. Those are the actors they get.
That's true. So.
But like even that I think about it more, it's like even if it's to convert people to like try out anime, I can't imagine it'd be that successful. It's like, yeah, this story is based off of this anime.
Yeah,
I don't know if they'd be like, oh, I'm gonna go watch it, or oh, I'm gonna go watch more anime. They'd probably look for more live adaptations if they, managed to find one that was good in the first place. But I don't know. They're weird. I don't really care for them at all. Every time I hear one, announced, my eyes just roll. It's like, here we go.
I'm the same way. Do I watch them? Yes, because I just want to. I'm waiting for that one that's good, and also you can get a good laugh out of them, right?
Right. It's also it's fun to make fun of them.
Like the Death Note movie. Oh my god, there's so many just hilarious moments in there. Right? It's the one where he first meets Ryuk and he's just going haywire in the freaking classroom. It was like, dude.
He's like, it's like that's so disrespectful to Light, like the actual character.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying it didn't. I hate high school dramas, but it shouldn't have been Light. If it was someone else, I wouldn't have been as upset.
Right,
was
they
like,
could have named him like Tom or something.
that would have fit the actor.
Right. They could have named him Clarence.
Not some like Midwest white kid named Light Yagami. It's like that. What are you doing, man?
Oh boy. But yeah.
Yeah,
Final verdict. I don't give
need
a
or want them.
yeah, I don't neither. Don't no.
No,
Not
no.
over here.
Oh, right. So let's just go ahead and start jumping into games now. So to pick up a little more off to a story that we left off last week, the Philip at IGN who did the plagiarizing, turns out a lot more was discovered. All his stuff is now removed from IGN, or at least almost all of it. He also plagiarized his LinkedIn resume.
My God, dude. Is he even a real person?
It's
Jesus Christ. Because I watched the video of him responding. He was like, I'm sorry you think that I plagiarized, but I didn't. We just have similar styles. Like, and then he's like, I felt like this was so disrespectful that he started like talking down on the guy's video he copied. He's like, oh, I know how it felt to start as a YouTuber. I worked my way. It's like, oh, how could you say that when you literally copied his work? I just felt that was so disrespectful. I'd be like, dude, don't.
Yeah, he ruined his career, and not only this, he hurt the reputation of IGN for a little bit. So now they have to start working on that again, which
They're about to double check all their articles.
it's going to be a harder hiring process, if you ask me. Sucks it is. I mean, there's not too many good gaming sites out there, but IGN is one of them. So I'm pretty sure they'll be fine once they get out of all this crap.
Yeah,
dude.
I think it's more.
How do you plagiarize a LinkedIn resume, dude? He like literally copy pasted one.
Right. Because I think IGN will be fine. Because I think people are more outraged at him as an individual.
Yeah, definitely. Oh no, yeah, definitely.
Because IGN's like, get out. Okay. You are not. We ain't having you here.
So, yeah, move on. So the big thing now this week is the Elder Scrolls Legends. It's their, Bethesda's card game. They're going to completely skip the PS4 because Sony, still doesn't allow crossplay between consoles. And they want it so, if you progress on Xbox, they want that progression carry over to PS4 and to PC, to, your phones, because that game's on everything. The Switch.
I actually could really like that.
See, it is interesting. Like, they want to do it that way, but they are alienating what the PS4 sold around 88 million copies so far. 82. They're outselling the Xbox 2-1 on a conservative measurement. Xbox refuses to release their numbers, probably because they are getting blown out. So, because they we don't want a ecosystem where these players have to rebuild on their progress. But if, you have X amount of million people on PS4 who don't play on anything else, they're not getting the game. And I feel like you would still, you're cutting into the profits based on, I guess,
sometimes I guess they're making a stand. In a perfect world, every game is crossplay. Just play on whatever you want. So I can get behind why they'd want to, because I think certain games should be cross-played. For example, any sports game I feel like should be cross-played, just because there's no real advantage, you know. Yeah. And I do like how games are starting to come to Fortnite, Rocket League. There's other games coming to cross-play, but I see why companies don't do it. Obviously, if you have
I fully understand Sony on this, right? They are outselling like crazy. So they just don't want to give up part of their profits to the other one. So it's
But, on the other side, why wouldn't they just allow the crossplay for that game?
Well, I think here it is, right, if you...
Because it's not just Bethesda losing money.
Well,
no one's going to pay PlayStation to...
Well, I don't know how, the splits work, right? So if you let's say you buy a game on PS4 or whatever, and it crossplays with all of them. And then, Fortnite, you buy a skin. does that skin money get split between Xbox, Nintendo, Fortnite, Epic, and like anywhere else? iOS, Android?
I have not. I'm guessing where you bought it from would be my assumption. Like whatever like if I bought it on Xbox, it would go to Xbox maybe? I have no idea. Is the Elder Scrolls Legends free? Or is it a
No, it's free. And then you can buy, it's like a
I don't know the
Hearthstone kind of
logistics
thing. You
of
can
that.
buy like things in there. I've only played it a little bit.
There could be a split. Maybe it's a contract, or maybe it is like if they buy a skin off of, PC, it goes to, well, I guess Microsoft still. Or like, hey, if they buy a game
Well,
off their
on
PlayStation
PC,
4,
I don't think it would go to Microsoft because it's tied to the Epic account.
well, it goes straight to them, I guess.
Yeah, it goes straight.
I don't know how that works, but I'm surprised. I don't know. I don't really care about the exclusive things. I mean, yeah, I understand it as a business point, but to me, it's just like whatever.
Yeah, as a player, you obviously want
Right? It's
crossplay.
like, I mean,
they said
because
they are working on something. So
yeah,
whatever that means, right? They're gonna have to. It's probably like some plan for them to get a little more profits out of it, if I were to guess, because they can always use the whole "we got the largest player base of the consoles" probably thing to kind of squeeze something out. Because you also got what? I don't know where I was going with this. I was just talking. All right, whatever. But because it's funny how like Bethesda's planning on skipping the PS4, but because there is no crossplay, but yet their next game, Fallout 76, is not having any crossplay, which is an odd.
Is that because of their decision, or like they couldn't get Microsoft and Sony to get in the same room?
I think it was their decision.
That would be hypocritical, in my opinion. If they're like,
because
I don't know, maybe they just have something.
They can't skip PS4 with Fallout 76. They're like Elder Scrolls Legends is like a small game, right? It's not gonna be like this massive thing. Fallout 76, of course, is gonna be a massive thing because Fallout 3 was massive, Fallout New Vegas was massive, 4 was massive. So now you got 76, which of those 80 plus million on PS4, probably like several million of them are gonna buy it. It's like
right,
and
that's strange to me.
the only human players in the world are actual other players. So it is kind of weird where they're like, they have this, they won't let us crossplay. Fallout 76, our online game, is not going to have crossplay.
I feel like we could talk about crossplay as a topic. Because like, because if I don't see how, like, how would crossplay affect sales of like Xboxes and PlayStations? Wouldn't they still just buy their preference?
Yeah, they would totally. Like, I don't think crossplay there will affect sales. If anything, it affects the extra content sales.
What do you mean exactly?
Like, skins, DLC, stuff like that. Like, because even though you might primarily play on PS4 or whatever, like you load it up on your PC one day or your Switch because you're traveling and then you buy it there.
I see that. I feel like that's a small minority though who's would, I don't know. Maybe that's because I play mainly PC. I feel like if everything was crossplay, I would just buy one console and just stick with it.
Which, I mean, most people do now anyway, but they mostly buy the consoles because, there's exclusives on the consoles, which exclusives you don't have to worry about crossplay. But with the crossplay titles, you're probably always going to pick your preference, no matter what, because that's what gamers do. Like, even when right now I don't have an Xbox One, I just have a PS4. But even when I had both the 360, PS3, and there was a copy on both consoles, I picked a 360 because that was my preferred console. Like, I don't feel like crossplay is going to affect the sales anyway. I'm going to obviously buy it where I preferred it.
Right. That's what I don't know. I wish I could like ask Sony, like, hey, why don't you want crossplay? Just as a general question. I'm sure they've answered it, but I want like
they do, but it's always in a it's not like a direct answer. It's always just like kind of a generic statement. Like,
yeah, it's like it's been something we've looked into.
Yada, yada. Like that was their latest one. Before it was like, oh, we don't have an interest at the time, kind of thing, or at the moment we don't see it. I remember the first answer they gave were like, they got a lot of negative feedback for it. It's because they said, oh, because if you're playing on PS4 with the Xbox player, we can't protect our PS4 players. Like the terms and conditions are different between the two. And, they want like that ecosystem. So if somebody's doing something on Xbox against a PS4 person, we can't do anything against that person on Xbox.
I mean, that does make sense, I guess. But I'm sure there's a terms and conditions they can agree to, right?
I mean, between the two, but you would have to, I guess, the player themselves only accepts the ones on the console they're on. So the companies would have to come together to build a new terms and conditions where players are now accepting both theirs at the same time.
Well, yeah. I mean, if someone's doing something that bad, then I'm sure it's like
yeah. It's basically like saying, oh, Xbox doesn't do anything about their players, but they do. They will ban players.
Just don't put in the effort. Because I can see how it's like, oh, we got to do all this to make sure everything's compatible. We got to do all this.
Well, we know it can be done because Epic, I think it was Epic, accidentally did it one day which was it, Fortnite or was it Rocket League? One of them accidentally opened it up to where PS4 could play with Xbox, and they were playing for like a day before the company realized they accidentally added it, and they had to like disable that.
Whoopsie.
Because the structure's there. It is easy to do. It's just the Sony pushback thing. So I mean, all it is just opening up a couple ports for the networks. I was to connect.
It can't be. It's just because I was thinking. It's like, yeah, it's a connection thing. It's obviously not a game thing. It's not like PS4 encrypts their game entirely secret so that they can't play with the Xbox people. I don't know. That's just interesting to me. That they're again. I don't know. It's hard for me to say because I don't really use consoles too much. But to me, I feel like if you already have a preference, if it's crossplay or not, you're going to prefer that preference.
And you're going to buy everything there on your preference anyway, because that's what you're playing.
Yeah, exactly. But oh well. Maybe they're worried. I don't know, actually. I don't know.
I think it's just like, if you buy that on your Xbox account, Xbox has the money, but then you start playing it on your PS4, you can't, buy that skin again, so that means Sony missed out on that money.
I guess. I don't know.
They could start splitting pennies. Like the skin that costs $2, let's all split it. We all get like 20 cents each.
All right, there we go. Everyone's happy now.
And just start building up all these 20 cents to a rare. You got 20 million players, and eventually adds up.
Right.
But yeah, that's the Bethesda stuff.
That turned into a crossplay section.
The crossplay section real quick. So, the big news is, PSVR sold over 3 million copies so far, which is actually way above expectations. PSVR is actually really cool. Even
People want that VR.
I love it. I played Resident Evil 7. Great experience. I mean, it is the first iteration, so I'm guessing the second iteration is going to come out along with the PS5 in 2020, 2021, whenever it releases. It's definitely releasing within those 2 years. Probably 2020. Which I'm guessing the next PSVR will be much better, because VR right now is kind of early stages where it's still discomforting, gets you sick and stuff. That's just lots of cables everywhere.
It needs some work, but it's heading in the right direction.
With my PSVR, whenever I have that plugged in, that's an extra like 6 HDMI cables. There's just so many cables going around, and hopefully everything go wireless and actually have not kill my eyes after 3 hours. Which I guess I can go in it for 3 hours or something like that, which is much longer than most people. Most people are lucky to last more than like 30 minutes without getting nauseous and sick. Whereas I don't. It's just my left eye starts to strain, but that takes a while. So I'm a little lucky there, but next iteration better keep my eyes from dying.
Has like little eye drop squirters in it.
This is a little eye drop. So we got Diablo 3 coming to Switch after 6 years. Diablo 3's been out for 6 years. So a lot of games are being ported to the Switch now because the Switch does have it's already sold over 20 million copies. And
gotta get that extra audience.
It's portable. Everybody takes it with them wherever they go. Mine stays on the dock. Mine doesn't go portable with me. If I portable something, it's my Vita, my 3DS, not my Switch. But it is the first Blizzard game on Nintendo in 15 years. At first, I was like, wait, 15 years? Like, the last one I could actually think of was StarCraft on the 64, which was 20 years ago in 98. And I was like, it had to be StarCraft, right? I was like, there's no way. What came out in 2003? And apparently Blizzard had some arcade classic line, like another developer under their label or whatever that put out a couple like re-release games on their Game Boy Advanced in 2003. So yeah. I guess those technically count, but a real release would be
technically.
Yeah, exactly. It's a technical account. Like they were re-released. Okay. The real one's StarCraft 20 years ago. It is kind of interesting to think about how Blizzard hasn't touched a console. Like, yeah, they don't put out too many games that are like console driven, I guess. Like Overwatch is like the recent one. Otherwise, they're putting out like, I guess, Diablo would have been on the consoles, but they were mostly like those RTS guys. StarCraft does not work on consoles.
No, I mean I guess Hearthstone could, but that's like pretty basic game.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, exactly. Like they could put that out.
That's interesting though.
Also, since no, yeah, it's just a little interesting there. Just see where. Once again, I start talking, not knowing where I'm going with it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Anything else? Oh, that's it.
That's it, man. So we got Dark Souls coming October 19th for Switch. That was just recently announced. So all those
Switch is getting everything.
Yeah, they're
snatching everything up.
Well, Dark Souls released on the consoles earlier this year, the remastered version, but the Switch got delayed, which if I was going to pick, like, a lot of people do pick their games for Switch just because of that portable factor.
I mean, it makes sense.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Like, you're getting the full console gameplay experience, like, when you're docked, and then you can just get, like, a decent experience even when it's not docked. Right. Some games, I don't know how well Dark Souls will run undocked on the handheld. I mean, Xbox 360 barely ran it, and the Switch isn't much stronger.
Maybe they got some magic in there.
They got some magic. That is like one of the problems. Like a lot of issues, like frames have to be capped on the Switch when it's undocked. Just because, again, there's only so much power you can have in a handheld version at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, a few years, you'll be able to get the technology will kind of be there to where they could use like laptop power and even a smaller version. So once this, which I'm assuming Nintendo's not going to go away from this like hybrid console mode, even with like their next one, just because it's doing so well.
Right.
And I wouldn't be surprised if someone else tries entering the space.
I could see it.
After seeing the success. I mean, there are like those weird like portable consoles where they got like they're like in a bag with the monitor in it and stuff. You flip it up and it's basically all of it's just tangled inside. But yeah, let's just see how everything goes. Now I put this in here for the just kind of like we got teased a little bit by Bandai Namco So it's just a website. There's not much going on it except for it's like a picture of like a video where at the bottom it says August 30th. So it is. People said in the code it shows like zombies or something like that. If you're looking for it, I can just link it to you real quick.
Sure, just go ahead and link it.
Yeah, so you can get a good look at it. Now, I am behind pretty much anything Bandai Namco does. They do a lot of like. Actually, no, they honestly do a lot of like fighting games. You know, like the Dragon Ball, Soul Calibur 6, which I'm so into.
It's a zombie fighting game.
Zombie fighting game. But it's got like the little creepy house. I don't know. Maybe it's like.
It could be a horror game. Yeah, it looks.
Well, it's called the Summer Horror Project or something like that.
Oh. Interesting.
So. Yeah, exactly.
Companies do this a lot now. They, just don't announce anything. Just put it on their website with a date.
Yeah,
and then let everyone else freak out.
Let everyone's like, "What is it gonna be?
What?
August 30th. 11 more days. Get here. What is it gonna be?" I mean, it just kind of it's just a dude who's like a Winchester rifle or something that he's hovering over. It's very blurred, like 360p video quality and 2018, and he's in front of a creepy house. Is it gonna be, I don't know, like a survival game? Maybe there's ghosts and shit.
I don't know.
Not much to go off there, but it is.
We won't have to wait too long. It's in like what, a week and a half?
Yeah. We'll get it soon, so hopefully we can get more into that August 30th, and that'll be, we can go in more depth on whatever podcast that we have episode wise that comes out after that date. And
we'll be talking about it.
We'll definitely talk about it because that's what we do. Now, the big news for me, at least this week, is where did that go? All right. We got THQ Nordic bought out Timesplitters from Crytek, which it's been a long time since we got a Timesplitters game. I
always remember them at the arcade.
Yeah, so
I think they were I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that was Timesplitters.
No, Time Crisis.
Oh, that was Time. Never mind. I take it back.
Timesplitters. So Timesplitters 2 was the one I played a lot on GameCube. It was the first game I can really think of that had a map editor, and actually a really good map editor, which is kind of mind-blowing for a GameCube game. You could really design any map you wanted anyhow, just put in anything you wanted into it. I had a memory card full of just maps that were designed. A lot more better than what Halo's Forge is actually trash in comparison to the Timesplitters map editor.
Ooh.
I mean, the Halo Forge
declaration
for like actual map design and stuff. Now, Halo Forge, you could obviously do all the fun stuff with like racing tracks and stuff like that. But when it came to actually like the battle maps where you're facing against people, it's not nearly as good.
Right.
But they did say after buying it out from Crytek that they are going to start putting it into development. And it's going to be under Deep Silver, which Deep Silver is like the people behind like Dead Island. What else have they done? Deep Silver, like Dead Island's like the big one I can actually think of. They're more like a publishing company. They did like let's see, the Metro series, which is big for a lot of people. The Homefront games, which Kingdom Come Deliverance would have been like one of the newer ones they were behind on publishing with. So that means there is some hope there. The fact that it's coming back warms my heart because I put so many hours into Timesplitters 2 and Timesplitters Future Perfect on the original Xbox, which I think was the last one released. So it would have been like 2005.
I'll have to check out a Timesplitters game.
I still have it on my original Xbox and break it out and we played, dude. And it was back when games were like truly fun with all the cheat codes and stuff where you could turn on like big heads, small bodies, or like they also had cheats where it was like human gun sounds. where if you shot a gun, it was just
bang bang.
yeah, it was just like really the people like the coders just making weird sounds like with the machine guns. They were like, hey, and they were just having fun with it, and that's cheat codes aren't really a thing anymore, and at least not fun ones. And then actually something dropped today, which was kind of surprising, is a game that was canceled 25 years ago is coming out. And they're finishing, it was coming out for Genesis, and they're finishing it on Genesis, but it is going to be ported to the PS4 and Vita. It's by DICE, obviously the Battlefield people. It's called Hardcore. So it obviously is going to have that old 18-bit console generation graphics. But the reason it got canceled is like at the time their publisher, it was 99% done. Like literally just basically done. It just had to be released. But the publisher canceled because the PS1 came out and they wanted to move from the Genesis to the PS1 because that's when the PS1 started, butchering all consoles out there and just soared to the top. And they're like, you know what, Genesis isn't going to do it. We're moving to PS1. Hardcore, yeah, you're 99% done. All we have to do is put you out there. We're not doing it. We're canceling you.
Did they decide to finish it because it was 99% done?
I don't know. It's just like the old like DICE founders came out and talked about it and stuff. Like they're just they had input from the original developers and we're gonna try and they're gonna handle it with care and bring it out is what they said. So and it's coming to PS4 and Vita. That's it at the moment because it was under that kind of like PlayStation umbrella. So it is kind of hilarious how they're like, let's just bring this out 25 years later.
That is pretty. I'm feeling it's like, oh, hey, remember that game we almost finished? Let's just release it. Maybe make a quick look.
It almost looks like it has like the Metal Slug kind of Contra look to it. So
I wonder how it'll be received.
That is an interesting question. Will I pick it up? If it's like $5, hell yeah, right? There's no way they could release it at full price, right? They took them like how long? It's a team of like 9 people that are finishing up. If it was 99% done, you probably had like 9 people. Maybe it was an 18-bit generation console, so or 16-bit. I don't know why I'm saying 18, 16 because that's double of 8. It was 8-bit and 16-bit. We don't work on weird bit systems. So it couldn't have taken too much to finish up. So it should not be a full price game. That is 100% for sure. And if it is, it's not going to be received well if it is.
Right.
But it'll be interesting to see when it comes out. They didn't say when it's coming out. I can't be too far from coming out.
I feel I don't know. I'll just wait and see.
Yeah. So, also the other I guess it's also EA related, EA and DICE related. Soderlund, the CEO, or not CEO, he was like let me look at what his exact position was. It was something weird. He was the CEO of DICE. He was in publishing development basically. But he left after they gave him so last year, 2017, they gave him a $20 million bonus to not to leave. So last year he made $48.3 million last year. And now he's leaving EA. So I guess the $20 million bonus wasn't enough to make him not leave this year. He basically stayed that one extra year for that $20 million, which I guess I would have done. I'd be like, all right, I can stay 1 year for a $20 million bonus.
Right. Jesus Christ.
So EA wanted to keep him. But
he just, what is he, like old? Did he just step down cuz he's bored. Like, because I'm sure it takes a lot to say no to $20 million.
I mean, he got that, but I don't know what their bonus would have given him for this year. But
Oh, I thought they were offering another. Maybe they. I don't know. Maybe
they
they aren't
I wouldn't
offering.
be surprised they did offer him something again. But
Hmm.
I don't know exactly why he left. It's just if he's not old, definitely not. I mean, if I look at him, I would guess 40s, maybe 50s, probably 40s. He could retire easily. That's for sure.
I mean, yeah. His great grandkids can retire easily.
That is true. I can look. Let me just see how old he actually is. He's 44.
It's time he starts living life and doing whatever the hell he wants, I guess.
He's like, I'm out, man. Thanks for the 20 million. Now I have some random video playing. Stop it. I hate when sites do that, man. When you click on it, it's got random sites playing. I mute desktop audio so podcast listeners won't hear it. So
Okay. Wait, you have not a video playing automatically?
yeah, on GameSpot, it just started playing.
Because at the same exact time, I just had a website start playing something. Oh my god, that was weird. That could be something we talk about. Here we go. Don't do that.
Yeah, yeah. Not even a topic. Videos that play when you go to a site. No.
Yeah, no, don't.
It's like when Netflix has their auto playing videos on the homepage. No. Don't do
Right.
that.
And I hate when it's the website. It's not even right away. It's like 30 seconds later. Like you'll be looking and then 30 seconds, bam, and you're like,
yeah, that's the. It's like you're scrolling down, it pops up in the bottom right, and it starts playing. It's like, where'd you come from? Why are you playing? Get out of here.
So dumb.
Nice tangent. Dumb. But so let's talk about Fortnite again. Like, ooh, we always are. So it came out because we were talking about how they were skipping the Google Play Store. According to Sensor Tower, they're basically going to be missing out. Google's going to be missing out on $50 million in like fees and stuff from Fortnite. Essentially, you know, they would have took 30%. They were looking at iOS, which was released back in launch or March, not released back in launch, released back March, and has made more than, you know, they can only do so much data, but more than $180 million. So Jesus. Apple gets 30%, which is how much Google want. So at first, last week we were like, oh, does Apple take less or whatever? So Apple's made $54 million since March on Fortnite alone. But I think it's because you don't really have a workaround on iOS. Like, you literally have to download stuff from their Apple store unless you, like, jailbreak your phone.
Right.
Whereas Android is more like an actual PC. Yeah. And they give a lot more user control and stuff like that, so users are able to download and play games from not the Play Store. So it's much easier. I think that's why this game is just much easier to skip the Play Store than you would, you know, an iOS Apple Store. I fucking hate Apple. I'm just getting that out there, but I need my user freedom. Okay, they don't allow any user freedom on anything, like computers.
You're just paying more for the brand than anything.
Yeah, exactly. That is what you're doing.
It's annoying.
That's why
those even people that buy Apple are like, "Oh, you don't have an iPhone?" It's like, yeah, because I pay for quality stuff. I don't let them take my headphone jack and get away with it.
I like my current headphones. I don't want your $100 dongle-less phones or whatever. It's like,
I'm just okay. Just to, no offense to anyone who has these, but I don't think those wireless headphones look good on anybody. You could be a supermodel, and once you put those in, I'm like, you look goofy. They just look weird dangling out of your ear. Always makes me double take. I'm like, what is? Oh, okay.
I mean, I think the same thing about those weird holders on the back of phones.
Oh yeah, those. Little,
you mentioned pimples. You mentioned them like, I don't know, a few weeks ago in our like group Discord, and I was like, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. But since you mentioned that, I've seen them everywhere.
See 'em every-
I'm
I
like,
told you.
I even know some people that have them. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why do you have that on the back of the phone? How does it make it easier to hold? Like how
I
does that
told
you? It's like it looks awkward. They're massive. Some of them
I
are
know,
just
they're-
huge. It's like,
I think it's so you can just squeeze your two
Yeah,
fingers
but,
against it to hold it, but like
how, do you take it off before you put it in your pocket and have to put it on every time?
I don't know. I think it's for people with small hands, maybe. I don't know. Because I never have issues holding my phone. Of course, I have a pretty older phone, so it's not as big as newer phones. But still, I told you, I started seeing them, I started noticing them. I'm like, why does everyone have one of these things? They're taking over.
Just to let everyone know, Logan pulled up his phone and showed it. We are
Yeah, I know.
audio
Right as I-
only, Logan.
I was right as I did, I'm like, this doesn't matter. And then I put it back down.
But
I'll show you, okay?
yeah, I get it, man. But so yeah, it is.
But yeah, Google missed out on a lot of money.
This is exactly what it is. But the fact that Fortnite's doing that much is it's insane. 180 million off iOS only. Like
That's nutty. That makes me also surprised that they wouldn't go with Google if Apple's getting the same thing.
I mean,
Maybe
if it's easier to skip and you can get 100% of 180 million, wow, you're getting 180 million instead of 126 million.
Right.
Which that's a huge difference. Would that make or break a person? No.
It'd make me 126 million. My God.
Spread that around. Just give that to bonuses to everybody, right?
All right.
That's what you better do with that extra money you're skipping Google out on. Well, that is if it does as well, because now you have to go to Epic's website to download it for Android. So people who don't, maybe people that are like that go through the Google Store might not download it now because they don't see it there.
Right.
Because there are a lot of like phone players, who are just casual gamers that just look in the Play Store and like, oh, this looks interesting.
Right, but I have been seeing tons of ads for it on YouTube. Because at work I don't have ad block. I get a Fortnite.
Whoa. We don't talk about ad block here. Don't use ad block. Don't do that.
I mean,
we don't have ads because we're not we're not partnered or monetized or anything like that. But we respect our YouTube brethren.
What I meant to say was,
sisterin.
For some reason on my personal computer, ads don't show up. It's probably a bug. but I could, like, at all my YouTube videos, almost all of them have a Fortnite. A little banner will pop up. It's like, try Fortnite now. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I have it. Go away.
It's everywhere. It's awesome. Fortnite's great.
And so are ads.
So are ads.
My YouTube overlords.
Okay, everything's just kind of dying over here on my computer. We're good. It's like the web browser just didn't want to close, man. Not the browser, the tab.
Mine does that sometimes.
But I didn't really write down a topic for games today. That's fine.
We kind of
it kind of got cross-played with anime with live adaptations. So That's basically where I was going with that. So we're just go ahead and jump into movies and TV, which I guess this is also kind of goes in a couple. The Metal Gear Solid movie, they showed some art concept.
Almost like is it going to be like a adaptation?
Well, obviously. I don't know if it's live or not. The person behind it is the person that did Kong Skull Island, which I thought was, it wasn't like a great film. It wasn't bad. It was average, but it was fun and enjoyable. It's a King Kong movie. You're not going into those to be a masterpiece.
Right.
But it was a fun movie. So, but now he's doing Metal Gear Solid, which Metal Gear Solid has like 20 fucking games, right? Now you're going to tell this whole story or tell some of the story. Like, the Metal Gear Solid story is just so interwoven and like complex and deep that this is one of those movies, like, it needs to be a TV series that also needs to be deep and complex and long.
Seems to be a common theme with adaptations.
Instead, we're getting some movie.
That'll
Which-
probably no one will like. Maybe some. I don't know. I haven't played Metal Gear, so I obviously can't have an opinion on it.
Twin Snakes, something like that was on GameCube. That's the one I played. I didn't really care to the Metal Gear. I mean, I have the newest one because it was free for PS Plus, and I just haven't played it yet. I need to give it a shot. I probably will at some point, but until then, I will not. I guess. The other, so Iron Fist season 2 got a trailer. That was it. I actually don't mind Iron Fist when it comes to like the Marvel Netflix stuff. The first season did get a lot of shit, a lot of hate. It's just some of those ones you just have to go in not expecting much, just go in for fun. That's just how it is. Like, there are certain things you just shouldn't expect you shouldn't have high expectations for literally everything. There's some things you just know aren't going to be great.
Right. Some things you gotta accept. You're like, this is probably gonna be bad. Let's enjoy it.
Yeah, like, have fun with it. I didn't mind it as much as most people. I actually had fun with it. So it's a familiar villain. It's gonna be in the same. The trailer actually wasn't that bad, and I actually look to see when that's coming. Point it should be soon. I'm looking forward to it. So suck it, haters.
Ooh.
I just like my Marvel stuff. Okay.
You don't actually have to suck it. He was kidding.
Yeah, I was kidding. You can hate stuff all you want. I don't know why you need to hate it. You just say you don't like it, move on. You don't need to go trash all the actors and stuff just because you don't like it.
Some people go to extreme lengths to do stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So we got Netflix doing some weird stuff for a small group of their users. They were adding ads in their binging periods.
Yikes. Can't imagine that was well received. I wonder
Yeah,
why.
it wasn't. The Reddit did not like it. They did address all of it. They're like, it's just a small test. We're just looking at it. We're just looking to see how it does.
Any content?
Yeah, if you're watching something, it'll give you an ad for a Netflix original. Something they think you might like. That's a Netflix original. So it's not like...
Okay. So it will give you an ad just for Netflix.
Yeah, so if you're it's not going to be for like an ad for like Gatorade or Taco Bell. No, it's just hey, you might like this Netflix original show. So basically like a small trailer in between each thing.
I can see how that would make sense,
I mean,
but I feel like
I don't know, how does that help them? I mean, you're already paying for Netflix.
Is it like for Netflix original thing?
Yeah, Netflix original shows.
Why would it?
You're already on Netflix.
Right. Just to bring attention to it, but can't they do that by just putting it on your front page the whole time? Instead of making commercials? Yeah. Because I feel like, I mean, Netflix's main selling point is, look at all this shit we have with no commercials. By the way, watch this one. It's like, I feel like you kind of just got something lost in translation there. Like, no one wants to watch commercials. That's why they have Netflix.
Exactly.
If they wanted to watch your original, they would have watched it. What? I feel like there's no positive to come out of this.
Well, the problem is, which ones are they going to redirect you to? They have like, what? Like several hundred originals coming out this month alone? Like, it could be. That's a lot. First of all, that's a lot coming out in a month. Several like hundred and stuff, and it's like, oh, watch this one out of those other 200 or whatever we have coming out. No. Watch this one.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's like an algorithm where it goes off like what you've watched, the genres you browse most, and all that, and it beep boop beep boop. Here's your commercial. But still, I feel like if they're already subscribed to Netflix, what's the point of it?
It's
To
not.
annoy them?
I'm trying to think because they don't release like any of their stuff. Period. Like how many are watching one show or not? Does that determine if? I'm guessing that determines if they bring it back or not. So I get like. I mean, it doesn't matter. You're already
That's
subscribed or
strange.
not. It's not going to change. Because what does it matter if you watch or not? The point is to get more people to subscribe, not somebody who's already subscribed to watch something. Because I don't know how they do their money splits. I'm pretty sure they just give money people. Like they gave the guy who does Blackish, great TV show by the way. It's hilarious. He got picked up by Netflix for like $10 million, $100 million or something like that. They gave him a deal for that to come over and make a show for Netflix now. Like, does that all go to him, or are they going to that? Like, where is they getting that money? If like, and why are they putting it all in one show? Like, how does that subscription matter? It doesn't matter if anybody watches that show. They've already been paid those subscriptions.
Right. I feel like that's just a good way to piss off your audience for absolutely no reason. Like, if I'm looking at this from just outside point of view, what's the best that can happen? They go use the subscription they already have to watch it, and then what? That's it. Maybe I guess go tell someone about it. Hey, have you seen such and such on Netflix? But I mean, I feel like word of mouth like advertisement has already reached pretty much because everyone knows what Netflix is. You either have it or you don't. I don't think one show's gonna like make you get it, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, that makes sense.
Especially if it's just from like, hey, check out this show on Netflix. I mean, if someone doesn't have Netflix, you know what they're gonna tell me? I don't have Netflix. Like, they're not gonna be like, okay, let me go buy it when I get home to watch this one show I might like.
We already know everybody's sharing their account with everybody anyway.
Exactly. Like, I just don't. I feel like this is just a good way to
like the video. Like when you go to Netflix, you already got a video player that plays something obnoxiously in the background that thankfully finally is muted now. It used to not be muted, and it was like you had to mute it or whatever, or scroll far down quickly enough to get it to fucking stop playing. That wasn't well received. It's still there. Why did they think these would be well received? They weren't, for a reason. Because people are already sick. They're just going to Netflix. They want to browse. They know how to browse. They know how to find shows they want to watch.
Right. And to be honest, I don't think Netflix even gives a shit if you watch things. They only care if you're paying them month to month.
Exactly.
Like,
I mean, they always talk about how they don't care too much about the viewer numbers.
It just seems a very quick way to be labeled as hypocritical for absolutely no gain. But I'm no market expert, so just some dude talking about it.
Acting like we know everything about it. Alright, enough of Netflix. They've had their chance. So, we can get into a little possibly controversial stuff here, but who doesn't love that? James Gunn is not coming back to Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Marvel and Disney released a statement saying they're not bringing him back.
Because of what, old tweets?
Yeah, old tweets from 10 years ago.
I didn't even see what they said. Were they like racist tweets or something?
No, they were pedophilia rape jokes.
Ah.
But they were just edgy, terrible jokes.
As if people in Hollywood don't already have enough.
But like again, it was 10 years ago. Like everyone says he's completely different now. Everyone says it like, hey, like if I'm completely different than I was 8 to 10 years ago, right?
Everyone makes shitty jokes. And I mean, some stuff it's like more taboo to joke about, but like, why him specifically? Was it brought up? Did someone like find it on Twitter and it blew up?
Yeah, the guy that does all the smear campaigns and the Pizzagate guy. He searched all the way back and pulled them.
That's what I hate about Twitter now. People will literally like type in your username and type in like a bunch of either like bad things and see if you said it just to try and ruin your life.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's stuff he had already apologized back in the past. Disney had to know he tweeted those. Like,
yeah, they're not stupid.
they're going through people's
world.
like Twitter. They're going through their Twitters. They're like hiring process. It's not like there's no way this is the first time it was brought up, but it was just brought out more or so to the light. He apologized for him way back in the past. Now 8-10 years ago, it's causing him to get fired now.
It's kind of dumb, in my opinion.
No, it's
completely controversial, but like, are they gonna go fire any other actor or actress that said something wrong or has done something wrong? Like, I mean, hasn't Robert Downey Jr. like done like drugs before?
I mean, they've
like
all
a long time ago.
They've all done something.
Are they gonna? Well, I guess I gotta go make a Twitter post and go expose everyone to get everyone fired. Got them.
That's exactly how it is. Basically, they're giving power to people, and then
it's kind of. I hate that outrage.
Batista, who plays Drax, is like he's not having it at all. Like he's basically like
I heard he was like, "I'm gonna quit."
Yeah, he'll finish out. I think he'll finish out the movie or script, but they're probably gonna have to they're literally gonna have to kill him off because he won't come back. It kind of
sucks that it's just like him because, no offense to him and his character, but it's probably really easily replaced. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, if it was like Chris Pratt, who was like,
no, Chris Pratt's he didn't step he made a statement about it, but he's just like, oh, my prayers are with James Gunn.
Yeah,
because he's like super religious, I guess, and he stays out of everything.
I know why, but like I feel like it would have
all the other cast members have spoken up like, hey, they shouldn't be doing this, but they have their jobs, so they got to keep working. But I mean, it's so dumb that you can get. I mean, if it was a tweet he made like today or something, I could understand it. Like, oh, holy crap, what's he doing? Talking about like these pedophilia stuff. But like they were just crappy, edgy jokes. Actually, I like how Jerry Seinfeld kind of mentioned it. He's like, jokes are not real. People assume that when you say something that you believe it. It's purely comedic invention. I do this whole bit about Pop-Tarts and how much I love them. I don't love Pop-Tarts. It's just funny. It's funny to say it. That's how it is. Like Jerry Seinfeld's like, he's hilarious. I love his stuff. And, he's exactly like, why does it... He says he doesn't... If it's a joke, why does it matter what it's about?
I think people literally feel proud of themselves when they ruin someone's career, to be honest.
No, they do.
I think people are like, I want to find something, some dirt on someone just to, cause an outrage. It's like, wow, you are a very incredible person.
Yeah, that's why I kind of was going to set up the topic for this, like, entitlement or whatever. Like, people, how they feel like they own, like, actors or whatever, like, source, or, like, the material or whatever when they have nothing to do with it. The actress Rose, she kind of quit. Another actress quit Twitter. Like a lot of them are because people are just assholes. Kind of like with the girl from Star Wars, and she had to get off social media because people were like attacking her like it's her fault that character was trash. It was trash because the writers.
People are crazy. I understand hating something or disliking something,
but not the person. Like it's not their fault. They're just doing their job.
Yeah, like how we talked about how the Netflix or the Death Note Netflix, the character was shitty. I wouldn't go to the actor and be like, "You're trash. You should never act again."
Yeah,
even if I do think he's a bad actor, which is irrelevant, I wouldn't personally attack him for no reason.
Exactly, but I can't remember her full name. But she got the role in CW's Arrow to be Catwoman or Batwoman. Oh my gosh, I'm butchering this. I'm pretty sure it was Catwoman. What was one of them? It was Batwoman. But everyone was attacking her because she wasn't gay enough for the role. She's lesbian.
I've actually
said she wasn't lesbian enough for the role. And someone were like,
That's
"Oh,
so
she's not a
retarded.
lesbian." And she's like, "I've been out since I was 12." And they're like, "Oh, well, you're not gay enough." And then they
I
were
actually saw
like,
something similar with Scarlett Johansson.
"Oh yeah,
Uh,
she was doing a transgender role,
right,
but
and
she's
people
not
were
trans.
outraged because she
She's
wouldn't
not
understand,
because
or
she's not a transgender."
like, why does?
It's weird. It's like there was a guy, a straight man, who was gonna play a gay guy in a movie recently, and of course he got berated because he wasn't gay playing a gay role. And one of the gay actors came out. I can't remember all their names. This is the stuff that I'm remembering. But he was like, "Well, why can't a straight man play a gay guy? Like if gays are only allowed to play gays, we're gonna run out of roles and not be able.
Right.
We're gonna be typecasted."
Imagine if it was the other way. Straights can only play straights. That would not cause an outrage, would it?
No, it won't.
And I'm not. It's just weird that people outrage over things that.
It's like it's all fiction. It's not real. Like it's movies. Like you don't own Batwoman, right? Like they were mad because she's also not a Jew. Batwoman's a Jew. Like, well, in one of the many iterations, yeah, she's a Jew, but again, it's a fictional
It's
character.
people just. I don't even think people actually care. I think they just like to complain and just to, like I said, just try and like ruin something. Like I don't even. I bet you if most people that complain about this movie probably won't even watch it. They just want to, I want to complain just to see if they change it because I'm good at complaining. Apparently, I don't know.
Pretty,
It's so weird.
it
This
is.
entire thing is so annoying.
And now everyone's into the whole James Bond thing about Idris Elba playing James Bond. Oh, he can't because he's black or whatever. It's like.
Why did they're just stories?
They're like stories like
They're literally fiction.
yeah, exactly. Like, and I can see it. Like, why does it? What does it matter? Like, I guess you could say, oh, this person can't be James Bond because James Bond's a British white man. He is a fictional character written that way. Like, I feel like why can't we just let James Bond die already, right? Why can't it be like Agent 006 or something, 005, not 007? Just let him be like a legacy. And just let someone else take over and say, hey, it's the same universe. It's just not James Bond. Like, everyone's like, oh, but then he's not as important because it's not James Bond. No, it's just this is a movie. You're gonna be there because of the movie. You're not there because it's James Bond. Like it's like you're there because you know the type of movie it's gonna be. It's gonna be a fun movie with like cool gadgets, cool cars,
Right.
a
People
badass. Like you could do it with any other character. Just
I don't get it. I literally do not get it. The outrage for minor things.
it's outrage for outrage.
It is. It's so dumb. It is so dumb.
And anything you've ever said in your life can now come back to
Perfect.
get you
Go
fired.
delete my Twitter and make a fresh one.
And only tweet positive things.
Right.
Nothing.
Hope everyone's having a great day.
And then someone's gonna take something negatively at some point.
It's like, oh, did you just assume I would have a great day?
It's like,
Oh boy.
it's like people act like if some of you did something in the past, you can't like have changed. There's very
Right.
few things where I feel like you can't be redeemed from, but like something you say,
Especially if it's a joke. Like, especially
Even-
if something you apologize for.
yeah, whether it was a good joke or not, what does it matter? It's not like it's a real, it's a joke.
Right. You weren't offended 10 years ago, but you're offended now just because you found it.
It's in this we're in a culture right now where everything offends everybody, and it's really
Yeah.
hard to like. I don't know. The internet gave these outrage people power, and now they have that power, and they're gonna keep using it as much as they can until there's they don't get away with something.
Right.
They got James Gunn fired. Now they're gonna go find the next person they didn't like in a role. Or
Right.
something.
They got Scarlett Johansson to, drop the role. Another check. Another person we, messed with just because we wanted to.
I mean, she's still the highest paid actress in
I know.
Hollywood by far. So that was just announced. I think that's like she was like a couple of years ago too. But great actress.
It's dumb. It's dumb.
That does it for that.
Yeah. Did you see I just saw this recently. The new Kevin Spacey movie that completely flopped.
No, I did not.
I mean, there's probably a reason. Well, okay, there is a reason. We obviously know why. But I just thought the numbers were funny. So he started a new movie called Billionaire Boys Club. I mean, it only opened in like 8 theaters or something.
Well, yeah, nobody wants to air a movie with Spacey in it.
Exactly.
Who
but
even directed and published this movie with Spacey?
Well, the movie's distributor, Vertical Entertainment, said earlier this year that it was not aware of the distressing allegations of sexual assault against Spacey when it produced the movie.
What? What? I think they did hear about it, but they were at the point where like, oh shit, we're almost done. Let's just get it out there and get whatever money we can get back. Like,
you want to hear what they made opening day?
Yeah.
$126. That's it.
Who spent $126?
That's like what?
10 tickets.
15 tickets or something. That's pretty.
Who went?
That's like 2 tickets per theater. That's pretty bad.
All right,
they made like $425 over the weekend. So what? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's what, an average of like, I guess 125-ish.
Good.
I just
sorry for the company that put it out, but if you honestly didn't know about it, you're idiots. First of all, how could you not know about it?
Even House of Cards dropped like the show completely revolving around Kevin Spacey was like, nah.
Yeah, they dropped him, and I think they were trying to do something with other characters and just
with his character's wife.
Yeah, whatever.
But I stopped watching it.
I didn't care.
Way before that, anyway.
Yeah, I stopped. I watched like the first episode. I was like, nah, for me.
I stopped watching it a few years, way before any allegation. I was just like, yeah, whatever.
Exactly, like.
But yeah, I wonder how much. I wish it said how much of a budget the movie had, just so I could laugh more. You know, it's like, oh, 10 million budget, $126.
Like. Yeah, it sucks for everyone else in the film because they're not going to get paid as much, and it sucks for the company somewhat. But
yeah, it's just really bad foresight.
I mean, I would have turned down a role if I was going to be in a movie with a. I probably shouldn't say that. I'd probably bleep that out, but I'm probably not going to because I would have to listen through this again. Anyway,
I got you. Boop. All right, cool.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
That's my little thing I saw recently. I thought it was just funny. Sorry to anyone else that worked hard on it, but can't say I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, not at all. So, I guess that does it for this week.
Woo!
And right there on that note. Woo! Again, though, if you guys want to, give us feedback, replies, corrections, anything like that on any of the stories, give us suggestions, anything, be sure to hit us up on it. Twitter, Couch Talk YT, or our personal Twitters. You can DM us, tweet us, anything like that. Email us at couchtalkyt@gmail.com, or just use the YouTube comment section. You were going to say something though, Logan?
Yeah, I said like I was gonna say something, but I actually didn't have anything to say. So
okay, so it's like me earlier with like starting a talk, be like, I have no idea where I'm going with this.
Right? You're like, I got something brilliant to say, and then nope.
It happens, man. So yeah, everyone, thank you for coming by and listening. And
you guys are real. Thank you.
Be sure to like, subscribe, share, all that truly helps at the moment. Man, I've been talking for a while. It starts to Starts to blur words. And, until next time, peace out.
See ya.